in there, and so smells. When you store your wine glasses at home, don't store them upside down in your cupboards. Because if there's any odor on whatever the surface is, it's trapped inside the glass. Store the glasses open. Okay? The best thing that you can do before you serve a wine is, to anyone, is in every glass, pour a little bit of the wine, swirl it around the glass, get it all parts, and then dump it out, and we call that preparing the glass. Then put the wine in, and you really eliminate most of any problems that could occur. What did you taste with the wine?
I think it's almost woody. It isn't
Almost
really
woody.
good. It isn't really my favorite champagne.
Almost woody. I do get some citrus on here, but I am getting some yeasty, toasty notes.
I do get
on here.
lemon and grapefruit.
Yep.
Yeah, at the end.
Now,
right.
This is served tonight at about the temperature that I like.
Yeah, but it's warm.
Okay, it's just slightly chilled. The colder a wine is, the less flavor it has. Most people serve their white wines in sparkling wines much too cold. Now, I say that as a general rule. If you like your wines ice cold, drink them ice cold. Please. There's never a right way or a wrong way to do this. Whatever you like is the best way. The only thing I will tell you, though, is that the warmer it is, the more flavor that a wine has.
Yeah.
If you want to do an experiment at home, is take a really flavorful white wine, an oaky Chardonnay or a Sauvignon Blanc. Keep it in the refrigerator for a day or two. Sometime in the middle of the afternoon, you're going to be home. You're going to be home the rest of the day, and you're cooking or you're just hanging around. Take it out of the refrigerator and pour yourself immediately. Pour yourself a little bit. Taste it. Leave the bottle sit on the counter. Every 15 minutes, come and pour yourself just a little taste.
There we go.
I
That sounds
will do
very
this.
tough.
Just a little taste. Not, I mean, a real, even a lot less than this. Because you're not interested in drinking, you're interested in tasting it.
Right.
After about an hour and a half, as that wine warms up, what you taste at the end will taste nothing like what you taste at the beginning. Now, somewhere in that hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it takes, somewhere in there you'll find, I liked it better right here. I take it out of the refrigerator and 20 minutes later, I like it. Or I take it out, I drink it right away, I like it best that way. Hey, whatever you like, please do it. But it's a good example of how the wine changes as it warms up.
When I first tasted it, it tasted woody. When I retasted it, it tasted different. It tasted more like she said, grapefruity.
Yeah, and wine will, in most wines will improve a little bit, or not necessarily improve, but change in the glass. There's no question about that. First thing you do want to notice, though, when you drink this, when you drink any wine, first notice what it does inside your mouth. And that's why we say squish it around to all parts of your mouth, because every part of your mouth detects something different about the wine. If there's any sugar in the wine, you're going to taste it immediately
On the tip of the tongue.
as you get it into your mouth. Now, is this wine dry or sweet?
Dry.
Right.
Dry, bone dry, bone dry.
Bone dry.
There was no sweetness in here at all. If the wine is high in acidity, you feel it along the sides of your tongue. You should get a little tingly sensation along the sides of your tongue.
Or like you're salivating a little.
Kinda.
Like you bit into a lemon.
Kinda. And we'll talk about some of the other characteristics as we get into the red wines. Then you saw me do something that most people don't do. And that's spit out. Well, we were at a tasting last week and we must have tasted 80 or 90 different wines. I can't drink that much. So we just...
We were taking the train, folks.
I literally spit everything out, except for dinner. Just remember, and I get lemon on here now. I get lemon and grapefruit on here
Yeah.
in spades now. Yes,
Right,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Should you have wafers in between or something?
Should you have, I'm sorry?
Wafer, like in between if you're drinking champagne and then wine, should you have like a wafer or something?
You
Or
could, but
a bread.
I wouldn't. If you want to taste pure wine, that's why here all we have, if we have anything at all, it's either bread or crackers. No food, no cheese,
Right.
because food and cheese will clearly change the way a wine tastes. What we're trying to get you to understand in these sessions is what this grape is supposed to taste like. And you can't do that if you've got flavors in your mouth. And if, especially with cheese, when you get all that fat in your mouth, it really changes the way wines taste. But anyway, going back to me spitting out and you guys swallowing, where are your taste buds?
In the back of your tongue,
They're on your tongue.
right?
They're not in your throat. So you don't have to swallow it to taste it. Okay? Now, swallowing it does help the vapors and the flavors come back up through your olfactory canals and back through your nose, because in reality that's where you taste is how good you can smell. And if you want to test that, even with these wines, you can test it at home. Plug your nose up and drink the wine.
You can't taste it.
You can't taste the thing.
It's like having a head cold.
You can't taste the thing. It's like having a sinus infection.
Such as-
All you can taste sugar and you can taste bitter. That's all you can taste. You can't taste flavors. Anyway, this bubbly here was made from 2 of the 3 grapes that are allowed in Champagne: Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. And the 3rd grape in here is Pinot Gris, which we know as Pinot Grigio from Italy. It's the same grape, grown a little bit differently up north and in Oregon, where it's really, really well known. And now in France, it's made from 3 grapes: Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and a 2nd red grape called Pinot Meunier. Champagne must be made from some blend of those, or 100% any of those. But those are only 3 grape varieties allowed, and it must be made in the Champagne region, as we talked about before, to be called Champagne. Now, 2 red grapes, 1 white. How is it clear? Now, in this case, it's 2 whites and 1 red, but how is it clear?
You don't use the skin.
Where does the color of a wine come from?
Skin.
It comes from the skins.
Skin, right?
Okay, you press all grape juice.
Skin.
You press all grapes, and 99% of all grapes, the juice is going to come out clear. There is some subset where it comes out pink. We're not going to talk about those. But it all comes out clear. And the only way that this becomes red is you let that clear juice stay in contact with the skins. Every day it stays, the redder it gets, as it extracts more color and flavor. Think about the set of flavors now in your mouth and the weight on your tongue, and after you swallowed, that nice feeling you've got left in your mouth, especially with this. This bubbly is as good as any champagne in that price range.
You know the price.
What is the price range? Right?
20,
26?
26?
26 and
Wow.
change.
are any of you like, after the fact, getting a little of like red yeastiness?
A little bit.
That's why when you were talking about what you got at
Right.
first, I was thinking we're gonna have to
Good.
come back to this yeastiness. Lou's gonna explain how this is made,
Yeah, now we're going to
and
talk.
he'll
We're
understand
going to
that
talk real
yeasty.
quick. We're going to talk real quick. Does anybody have a hard stop at 8 o'clock tonight? We're going to run a couple of minutes over because we have more wine than we normally show in here. But because in honor of the Olympics, we really did want to show as much of the British Columbia stuff that we could do. But champagne, the way it's made is you take the grapes and you crush them and you let them ferment, just like you do regular wine, just like this. When you get done with champagne, let it ferment to total dryness. That's what you're left with, a dry, still white wine, just like that Chardonnay is.